everyone's at work.
Right.
So
Where'd
now
everybody go?
Where'd everyone go? I have nothing to do. I'm actually extremely bored with my time because I just worked every single day for 200 days essentially.
Yeah.
So
well, you live almost like a ball player's life.
Sure.
yeah,
Like you're
I don't
at the
get paid
stadium
like one,
early.
unfortunately,
No,
but-
very few people do. You know, you're there early. You
Yeah.
stay late. You work every day.
It's fun.
It
You
is
love
a
it, though.
Ball
I love
player's life.
1,000%.
Love it.
I absolutely
Yeah.
love it. It's worth it. It is a lot of sacrifice.
Yeah.
I think I understand. And this is now like I've had the opportunities of covering basketball and working in football and now being in baseball. It is such a different grind than I can truly appreciate like the marathon, not the sprint. And watching these guys, and look, we know like right before the All-Star break, the Dodgers were looking a little shaky.
Yeah, they work great.
It wasn't looking pretty. But when you have I think when you're in it every single day, it takes away like the highs of the, oh my gosh, we're all freaking out, because internally, like you have to be so steady. And so that part I can really appreciate.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
So what is it like in the clubhouse when you have a 7-game losing streak?
I mean, I can't say it's like rah-rah, but it's not like the end of the world. It's more of, okay, we have to show up and do our jobs. We understand where we are falling short. And you could see the frustration. By the time it was like game 6, 7, you saw the frustration truly building. There was the understanding of they were facing some really talented pitching staffs.
Okay.
So there is that. That's the reality factor of it.
Yes.
But when you're looking at just the quality of at-bats, there were some things that were just not pretty. I mean, whether it was the strikeouts from Freddie Freeman, whether it was just, some of those at-bats, Shohei Ohtani, we've seen like kind of, he's now returned to the mound. The average has gone down a little bit, but we're still seeing the power there. And so there were some questions of, should the lineup look a little bit different? Things like that. What is it going to be when he's coming off of his start day? So there was so much happening. Obviously, the pitching is always going to be a conversation that we can dive into if you guys want to. But it was more of the frustration. Yes, it's building, but there's the understanding of, all right, like we also know who we are to our core and how talented we are, that like we're going to be fine.
That has to be a huge part of it.
Yeah.
Kirsten Watson, he and I have a fundamental disagreement on this. That's coming up next. It's Travis DeMarco.
You've done something that we haven't done and we'd love to do. You've interviewed Shohei Ohtani.
I have.
That's got to be an interesting approach. He's such a big dude and there's such a big aura.
I don't know.
Not at all?
Just a regular old guy.
No, really?
Really?
Yeah. Super nice. Really funny, actually.
Yeah.
He's really funny. I will say, if anything, I think at first, like when you first meet him, 1,000%. Like, it's kind of just the unknown. How do I approach you? There's kind of the language barrier. You're unsure. But I remember my first time meeting him was at spring training, and I just went up to him and I explained. I said, I'm Kirsten. I'm the team reporter of the Dodgers. There might be times where, Dave might say something in a scrum and I'll want to come and talk to you. Is that okay? Just your comfort, ability level, things like that. And he was like, no problem. He speaks English very well. I understand, of course, with using a translator. Anything he says, just the level in which, or I guess the magnitude and where it goes is huge.
Yes.
So, of course, just feel it with more being comfortable using a translator. But I don't know. I just think.
That's kind of like LeBron, right?
Yeah.
Rich Paul says it.
I
not
think
him.
it's bigger.
You think so?
I think it's bigger. It's not bigger here, but it's certainly bigger in Japan.
1,000. Now, that is very true.
That's
100%.
That's the element that he like. LeBron is. Don't get me wrong. He's world famous.
Yes.
Like you could go to Europe, you could go to Asia. People are going to know LeBron James. But the impact, and you went to the Japan series. The impact of Shohei Ohtani in Japan. Everything he says here is treated over there like it's the State of the Union.
1,000%.
It is.
He's a president there.
It's
essentially.
really hard to contextualize how big of a celebrity he is there, and it makes it seem like small potatoes here.
So you know what I would say? Did you guys watch the Beckham docuseries?
Yeah, the first episode, yes.
Okay, so
don't
in
think so.
that,
Yeah.
it's the story of David Beckham, and it is essentially just in his prime when he was dating posh Victoria
Oh, I did
Beckham,
see
and
this. Yeah.
just the celebrity around him, the fashion, all of it. He was on every ad, every billboard, you name it. That is Shohei Ohtani, but Shohei is like times 10.
Jeez.
Like who he is. There are people who are paid just to cover Shohei Ohtani. They're not paid to cover the Dodgers. They're not paid to cover Major League Baseball. They are
Just
paid
him.
to cover Shohei Ohtani.
Wow.
everything he says is news.
But
it
how does
could
that
be,
not get to your head?
He could say
Great
hello
question.
to Freddie Freeman's son, Charlie, and that is breaking news.
Wow.
You know, like
Yes.
it is. And it's interesting to see someone having to navigate that. Like that to me is fascinating. And he is someone who truly does, he compartmentalizes everything, and he is a really good teammate because he recognizes if he puts attention on a specific player, they're going to swarm that player to get the story from him. And so, and with baseball, because it's every day, like that can be a lot. And so he's very good at talking. It's always on the team high level. He doesn't want to go to specifics about any individual because he understands like what that would mean for them.
Yeah.
So that part is super interesting. And he has aura, you know, and, I don't know what the kids are saying these days,
Yeah.
but like
Riz.
he's got it, Riz, you know?
Riz,
He's
yes.
got all of that.
Skibbity, yeah.
And he is insanely talented. Like watching what he does on the field, like you're just like, not only are like fans and like us, the media and all of us, like we're in awe, but like his teammates are in awe. Like that to me is what gets it. It's just
Watching
like,
him come up to bat or take the mound more recently, even on Tuesday night in Atlanta for the All-Star game, the very best of the best, they stop what they're doing to watch.
Oh my goodness,
That
yes.
when he goes to bat, it's like, hold on a second, I want to watch what's about to happen here. And no disrespect to anybody else, but like Bryce Harper, Aaron Judge, like those guys are great players,
Great.
but he's on a different level than those guys. And Kirsten, I want to go back to something you said a minute ago, because you're going to understand what I'm asking. You just said he's a great teammate, that he throws shine at other people, that he's very good at making sure that everyone else feels seen and heard. Is it hard to be his teammate? And in other words, because he is so not just famous, but talented, and even if he's not trying to be, he is the center of attention 24/7, 7 days a week. Is it hard to be his teammate, especially if you're a star like Mookie or Freddie or something like that?
I would say in some other clubhouses, I do think it could be hard. If you have players who want to be the stars themselves and are used to being the stars, then I think it would be hard because he would take that shine just because of who he is. But I think the Dodgers have always, when it comes to their clubhouse, just from what I've seen, and it'll be interesting to kind of get your guys' thoughts on this as well, but like they really attract players who are humble stars in the sense. So like, yes, they're insanely talented. Yes, they're future Hall of Famers, but they don't really like the shine. It's almost like a blue collar and a white collar city, you know? Like they're not here in LA and Hollywood to be like, I'm that dude, I'm him, and da-da-da. It's not like some of the other sports.
I'm not LeBron James.
I got you. Yeah, but I would say this, and I've been saying this for a while. I think I feel sorry for Mookie Betts. Because you are a star, you are that guy.
But he is still a star.
But no matter what you do, you will never eclipse that. Ever.
But is it more of, though, he has eclipsed it in his own way. Like he is, if you look at what he does in his position, he is extremely talented, as whether it was a right fielder, now shortstop, all of those things.
Right.
I think with baseball, it's so interesting because it's not really a team, like it's a team sport, but it's an individualized team sport. So like Shohei is a star pitcher and a star hitter. So if we're going hitter versus hitter, okay, yes, Shohei is better than Mookie Betts. But also Shohei is what, 6'5", and Mookie is, 5'9", 5'10". So it's just like their bodies are different. Of course, they're going to produce different power. Aaron Judge, it's always interesting when I like. No, listen, this is the craziest thing. Okay, so whenever I go from like baseball to like my first Rams game, I'm always like sitting there like, when did these men get so big?
Oh, right. Good Lord. Yeah.
Right.
It's just like, and I'm obviously very tall, and it's just like, I don't know, it kind of takes me aback at first. And I'm like, oh my
Baseball
God.
players more or less are regular sized people.
They're regular sized people. And so I'm always like, I could get hurt out here. Like, ooh, let me not get tackled on the sideline over here. But like, when you see Aaron Judge, that is a football player.
Yeah.
Like
Paul Skeens is like
just
that.
looks
You
too
did that
big
to me
to
yesterday.
be there.
I never put it together. I'm like, this
Paul
dude
Skeens
is
is the same
Paul
size
Skeens
as
is
Aiden
massive.
Hutchinson.
a defensive
Really?
end. Yes.
They're both 6'6", 250 pounds.
Wow.
And he's throwing things at you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
how
he's
big
a
Paul
big boy.
Skeens is.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
And then the
crazy.
new kid, Mizorowski, is a basketball player.
Yeah, he's 6'9",
He is-
something like
he's
that.
massive.
6'9".
Is he 6'9"?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Lanky, tall. He can play basketball.
Yeah, I bet he could.
So no, all of that. So I think when it's hard to really compare like yes, okay, Mookie's not going to be Shohei. Shohei's not going to be Mookie. Like, there are things that either player can and cannot do. But,
Right.
like, they're both, I don't think it's fair. Like, I think we have a lot of stars on the Dodgers.
Don't get me wrong. It's all about team success. I want to win. What's the name of the baseball trophy?
Like
What's the name of the trophy?
The
the World Series
Oh my
trophy?
gosh, I'm
That
blanking
one.
on it. Yeah,
Right. CTE. See?
not Larry O'Brien, not the
That's
Lombardi.
NBA,
It
that's
is the
football.
Commissioner's Trophy.
Commissioner's
Thank-
Trophy.
I
Thank
just
you.
need to talk out loud.
I
and
thought
I'll
it was
come
the
back.
World
Sounds like
Series
my
trophy,
mom.
so there's that.
Mario,
Commissioner's Trophy.
Andre, DeMarco, you know who I meant. But yeah, it's all about winning for me. But you know, athletes, they do have egos.
Of course they
no
do.
matter how humble they are, they
course.
do. And you do count people at your locker after games.
1,000%.
And I just balled my
But I will
patootie
say,
off, and there's 1,000 people over there and 4 people here. That
but it
would
doesn't
make
work-
me mad.
But it's not 4 people over there. That same 1,000 people is going to go to Mookie's locker.
They're going to gravitate over.
Yes.
Okay.
But-
and
And
it
the
has to be
other
questions
thing,
about him.
No, not
they're
always.
gonna go
But the other,
second.
I will say the other
Yeah.
catch is Shohei has very limited media availability.
Yeah, he does.
So like,
okay. Shohei's not talking today. So
yes.
it's my day.
Now, if
Okay.
anything, if you see like maybe that part, like players could get frustrated with, I could see that dynamic. But like other than that, I don't.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad for long because this dude is that dude.
He's that dude.
Yeah, he just hit one over the fence and he's pitching today.
Yeah, and he's going to throw 100.
And it's one of those things, like literally when I tell you, like, so when he pitched, I don't know where we just were, but he pitched recent. Oh, San Francisco. Thank you.
Yeah. Commissioner's Trophy.
Yeah, right. We all got it. It's fine. It's fine. It's
No
fine.
judgment.
No judgment. So when we were just there, like he threw 3 innings, and even after that, like the next day, all of the guys, like they were still talking about how like he probably could have, how his stuff looked in that game. He could have probably like had a complete game, maybe even a no hitter. Like he looked that good. And then when your teammates are saying that, it's just a different thing.
It's been great having you in here today.
you.
We'll determine how great it's been based on your next next answer, right?
Okay. Wow. Pressure's on.
Oral has answered a certain way. I'm not going to tell you how Oral answered.
Ooh, no, it was good too.
Joe Davis answered a certain way. I'm not going to tell you how he answered. So you're in the hot seat next.
Oh dear.
Can Shohei Ohtani hit for the cycle on the same day that he is the pitcher of record? Not that he will, but is it in the realm of possibility?
Yes.
No. Sorry, go ahead.
Right answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because when I tell you, you would think it's impossible, but somehow this man can do anything. He could do the impossible. Watching him 40-40, hitting a walk-off grand slam for your 40th home run of the season. Like that in itself, insane. 50-50, how that came about. I think he had to get like 3 home runs in the game. Did it. The stolen base, I think he ended up having 2 or 3 that game. Like, and it was one of those games where like, okay, yes, we're in Miami and like, you know, the matchup wasn't that strong, but like it's the getaway day, kind of, it's just like, whatever. And he just does it.
Easily.
So
yeah.
I feel easily.
Right.
Like, and so my thing is just like, as much as I do think it would be challenging, like if you asked me like, could he do it in a few weeks or like after the All-Star break? Maybe not. Just because like realistically his numbers and his performance the day after a start, I think he is still building up like the endurance of kind of your pitching and your hitting, things like right now.
Right.
So I don't think he would necessarily do it right now, but you know, hey, if someone else is pitching on the other team that he sees really
Let's
well.
just say I'm really confident that can't happen. I'm praying that it won't happen because
That
of the
feels-
wager I put on it.
Yeah, you don't
Just
want to
leave
know.
it alone.
You don't want to know
that's
what the
why.
stakes
Okay,
are.
no, I don't know
I
this.
knew there was something to. I was like, because why
There
wouldn't
is.
you want to see that?
Look, I don't want him to do it because of what you've bet on it.
We're not going to tell
happening.
you. That's physically impossible. So
Just
you're
like
telling
you
me
eating 9 hot dogs and 9 beers.
that's like Josh Allen doing what he did here
Mm-hmm.
versus the Rams on offense and then flipping around and chasing around Stafford.
No, it's not.
And getting
Here's
him on
why.
the ground.
Here's why. Because he doesn't play defense.
No, he doesn't play defense.
Shohei Ohtani has hit for the cycle.
Mm-hmm.
He's already done it.
Isn't pitching a part of defense? You're
Well,
holding.
hold on a second.
Okay, that's fair. That's a valid point.
But he has hit for the cycle. It's not like it's something he can run. So triples
Mm-hmm.
and doubles are not off the table for him. He's one of the more prolific
fast.
power hitters.
He
in baseball.
can hit for the cycle, no doubt.
He also pitches once every 5 days now.
Right.
So those two things just need to happen on the same day. It's not as far. It sounds
I don't
absurd.
know. Has it ever happened?
No, of course, nobody's
No,
never
it
done
That's
this
what I'm
before.
saying. Okay, so in the history of ball,
But the
no
first-
one's been
but-
able to
But
do
the
to
it.
be
first thing that
fair-
has to happen is you have to have a guy that pitches and is a legitimate hitter.
He's that guy.
He's the only one that's ever been that.
And now we're not saying he's throwing a no-hitter and
Right.
doing it. We're just saying that he's going to like pick up the win.
He pitches.
He just
pitches
pitches.
4 or 5.
He just
6
has to
innings. He
post.
could pitch poorly and still
And
do
then
it.
hit for the cycle
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
same time. Not going to happen. You know this.
But
you know it's not
why
going
do
to
you
happen.
think it's not going to happen?
Because it's never happened. It's impossible. That's crazy. No one has that sort of discipline, athletic ability.
How many guys
You've-
had 50,
I'm gonna tell him you're a
50?
hater. So
I'm not a hater. I'm just saying. I would love to see it happen. Come on. That's beyond the realm of possibility. That's like walking in space with no gear on.
You know who'd ever had 10 wins and hit 10 home runs in a season before this guy?
No one.
You know how many people had 50 home runs and 50 steals in a season before this guy?
How close has he gotten to this? Because
Close.
that
there
is
were
a good
chances at the
question.
Angels, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still in major leagues.
I know. I'm just
Sort of.
saying. How close has he gotten to hitting
Sort
for a
of.
cycle
Thank
and
you.
been the pitcher of record? If he's because I've never heard of it until
I
Clinton
will
brought it
say,
up.
listen,
Yeah.
there are things he's done with the Dodgers that like. Obviously, he won multiple MVPs with the Angels, but just like the things he has done has kind of taken things to a whole new level.
Okay.
That like I don't know.
I didn't
There's
think it was
something
possible
there.
to hurdle a guy going backwards until Saquon
Yeah,
Barkley
that
did.
happens
This is what
too.
I'm
Okay,
saying.
but I'm just some
Anything
things.
is possible. Haven't you heard this?
Some things
You
aren't
get the
humanly
powder in
possible.
here,
That
you
might
know?
be one of them, right?
All right, so I'm glad you brought up Saquon. Eagles are the defending champs, and they
Yeah.
went through everybody last year, with the exception of the Rams. The Rams, I read the other day, they got the ball back. It was like, was it minute and 50 some odd seconds? They needed to drive the field. They got down to the 19-yard line, and they just it stalled. They missed a block. He got sacked, and that was kind of the end of the run right there. But coming into this season, I think everybody, Rams included, are incredibly bullish on what this team might be. Is there a sense, as you see it, Kirsten, about, hey, pump the brakes a little bit as opposed to they were out in the second round of the playoffs? It's not like they went out and totally rebuilt this team. It's there are some tweaks to be sure, but it's kind of the same team we saw a year ago. The reason for optimism matched the expectation?
I would say when we look at the Rams season last year, just how things started, obviously it was very, very shaky. They went 1-4 before the bye week. And
Yeah.
so like there were just so many concerns in general. There also were a lot of injuries. And I don't think we have really hit on that too much. I know we talked a lot about how like the big key this year is going to be like Matthew Stafford has to stay healthy. But we saw how Puka Nacua, how he developed over the season working under Cooper Kupp. We saw him step up in big moments. Like I do think that when we look at this 2025 team, I think training camp will be really interesting just to see how things come together and like how the group meshes, because there are, yes, it's still kind of like this main core, but there are key new additions, which will be a very interesting factor. I think the hype is there. Like if we look at that divisional game, like the Rams could have won that.
Oh, sure.
yeah.
And like, yes, even last night being at the ESPYs and all of the hype around the Eagles, it just feels like Eagles fans are everywhere and surrounding you at all times, which
They
is kind
are.
of crazy.
Yes.
I'm like, how did you get here? Like, where did you come from?
Sprung up out of
but-
the ground.
That team was so talented as just like a whole. There are they had the stars in each position, it felt like. Whereas, I don't know. I think that the Rams can have a really strong year. I just think it depends on, we've talked about health. It just seeing how it all comes together, and that'll be so telling in the next few weeks. But like, yes, how they ended, I don't
should
know
be
how there
optimistic.
could be a
Yeah.
drop off. Like,
Yes, that's one thing about the Eagles is they're good and they're talented and Saquon is all this and that. But I have never seen a roster like that where you're
Like
loaded.
Phillies?
Yeah, where you're
Yeah.
Yeah,
loaded
they're
at
just
every
loaded.
single position.
yeah, like
Yeah.
of course, like even like last night, them winning best team and things like that. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how could they not? They
Yeah.
truly were the
I'll
best
take
team.
him,
Whereas,
I'll
like,
take him,
you know,
I'll take
you have
him.
like a Josh Allen where he's the star of his team, and like he's doing so much, and he is one of the best. But like, he does not. The Eagles have a star at every single position. It feels like, so that's where you're kind of like, all right. But then if you have a young team who, I guess not necessarily young, but like a team that has now developing stars, it'll be interesting to see. We've seen how they kind of went toe to toe last year. Now you add another year of development for some of the young guys. So I don't know, but I do think like these next few weeks will be very telling, and we'll understand more. I think there's potential.
You've said a few times, DeMarco, that the level of confidence around not just people do what we do, where we talk about this stuff, but the people inside the building have a level of confidence.
Yeah.
Is there any sort of danger in overestimating what you might be?
Who called me right before the show started?
Coach Vermeil.
Coach Vermeil. And I asked him that very same question. I said, optimism is high. It makes me nervous. And he said, I understand that, but you have to. He told me a story about him. He had to learn to appreciate the compliments given to him.
Okay.
It takes a while. Like he said, he grew up with this, rough and tumble dad. So everything felt like he was never going to be good enough. That took him a while. He had to learn how to appreciate the compliments. So same thing here. It can happen with a football team. Morale being high is a good thing.
Yeah.
It really is. That's a good thing for a football team. When handled properly, that can help you. So what I'm worried about doesn't really exist. It's just how I'm built. Yeah, that stuff makes me nervous when you're patting me on the back constantly.
I'm a little superstitious, and maybe this is just the baseball background in my life that you always expect the other shoe to drop. And the second you start to think, hey, you know what, I think I got this figured out, that's when the bad stuff shows up.
True.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, look, they experienced it last year.
Yeah.
And they did bounce back from it. Like
2 years in a row.
Yeah. I mean, like, if you think about just the injuries and stuff, like, things were very much looking shaky for the Rams last year.
Yeah.
And I think how they responded, and given how the schedule looks like you can bounce back. And I think that's got to be the key. Like,
can I ask you one more question about interviews? Is Dave Roberts inspiring when he speaks? I'm curious, because I know Sean can make you go through a wall. Sean McVay.
Yeah, he can.
But the sport is different.
Yeah.
Like we said, you're on the line. Everything's on the line.
Yeah.
He can encapsulate that moment and give it to you, and you take the field with that. Does Dave do the same thing, or is his job to be more even keel?
It's both. I think in big moments, yes. So, like, there was a big speech last year. They were in Atlanta. They weren't playing really well. Tyler Glasnow had just found out that he was done for the year, and Dave did have to have that speech. See that look
Glass now makes me want to run through a brick wall.
No, I called him Glass now once and he got mad.
Yeah. No, that's just one of it's a trigger word. It's a trigger word in this room for me, Kirsten. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I should not have let my feelings get in the way of your answer.
Hey, what's going on over there? But no, I mean, they found out he was going to be done for the season, and so he had a conversation, and things turned around. And like guys point to that being a huge moment in the season that ultimately put them on this run to go and win the World Series. So he is that guy when you need to be that guy. But in baseball, I had to learn this, of course, coming from a football background. And like, I had a grandfather who gave this huge speech during half times of every game at FAMU. And like, it's the rah-rah and the fans get into it. So I grew up around that. But like, that's not in baseball unless you need it. So Dave is very inspiring and he shows up for his players every day. But he only has to give the speeches here and there. And I will say, but there is always a speech, like if a player does something, like if it's a career stat that they have or things like that, like they celebrate each other, which I think is huge. And even after they win a series, like they take shots. Like literally it's like, oh, we win the series, we celebrate the series. Yeah. Then we move on to the next one.
Take shots like jokes or take shots like...
I mean, I don't know.
Whatever's working for you on any given day. We're not telling secrets. We're just, sometimes you want to celebrate.
Whatever you desire.
Whatever it means to you.
Thumbs up. Yeah. Good job, guys.
All to the good.
Like your 9 beers, whatever you desire.
We'll follow up on that. We can. When the cycle happens on the day pitches and the 9 beers.
Listen, we are popping a bottle of champagne. That's what we're doing.
That is Kirsten Waston. Kirsten, I appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much.
Thank you.